Hey, welcome to Geeky Faucets. I'm Amy Dale.
And I'm Christine Lucasavage.
And today we have a special guest with us. This is Laura Werner.
Hello.
She's a little short for a stormtrooper.
Hardy, har.
Okay, well this is episode 14, and today we're going to talk about Star Wars.
I'm not sure if you noticed our pet AT-AT here, but yeah, isn't he wonderful?
Love it. He's amazing, but we're going to take him off the table.
Did you know?
I know you want to see me.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know that my brothers had that, and I used to play with my My Little Ponies inside the AT-AT? I was a pretty cool kid. Crossover. See what I did there?
You were doing like a mashup thing.
I was.
It's pretty
Before
great.
mashups were popular.
Yeah, totally. So, Laura is an avid Star Wars fan, and we're going to get into Star Wars. And I know you're all right now being like, she has the coolest beanie in the world. Christine made it, so I have to give her some credit for that.
Awesome.
It
I
is
want
pretty
one.
awesome.
I really do.
It's pretty great. She had a request for a C-3PO one, and she said she just couldn't
I
find
looked it up for some for C3, and they're just lame looking. Because you know how he has that thing on top of his head?
Oh, yeah, that
where
was
it's like,
yeah.
It
Didn't work out.
No, it just looks really late. Because I was gonna
Weird.
do it, and I'm like, it's not as cool as you would think it would be.
That's
So, well, I never
unfortunate.
actually thought it was cool, but I tried. But yeah, it would not have had the. I
Wouldn't
mean,
work.
this is cool. Like
I
the
want
effect of
one.
this is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I
so,
want
it
one.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a few things to touch on before we get into Star Wars. One is Free Comic Book Day is what, tomorrow?
Saturday.
No, yeah, by the time you watch this, probably it'll be tomorrow. So it's May 4th, also a great day to have a Star Wars party. May the 4th
May
be
the
with you.
4th be with you.
So make sure that you visit your local comic book store and don't just pick up the free ones. Buy some of their comics because that's how they're able to do those events. And that's not going to be hard to talk me into, personally. And also, if you do not have the apps for these comics, you should get them because they're awesome. So Marvel has an app. These are the ones
Oh,
I
have
have.
that one.
Marvel has an app, DC has an app, and Dark Horse. Those are the three that I have that I really, really enjoy because they always have free stuff on there. Like right now, Marvel has Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3 on there. And it's great because it gives you a taste of something and you can decide if you want it or if it's something you're like, nah, I'm not into that. So, yeah, so I highly recommend getting those apps if you have a smartphone, which you probably do. So. Okay, so Star Wars, we know, has an extended universe that is ginormous. There are novels, there are comic books, there are
Action figures.
Clone
Toys.
Wars cartoons, which
Toys.
I will not be talking about today, sorry. I have an aversion to the Clone Wars cartoons, and I'm sorry because I know there's probably a lot of people out there that like them, and I'm glad you like them. They're great. Be fans of it. But it's not for me.
Tell us how you really feel, because I'm not real sure we're getting it right now.
unclear.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not getting that right now.
And there are also 3 other films that have been produced.
Can I
later
tell you
in
my
time.
problem with those?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you know my feelings on battle scenes and how people come together in these big battle scenes, and this team walks
doesn't
this
like
way and this
extended
thing walks
battle
this. I
scenes.
hate it.
Yeah,
And the
it's
only
kinda annoying.
thing I can remember from the one of those that I saw was the battle scene. It was like the droid thingies.
Yeah,
And then
the
I don't
droids,
know.
actually, yeah.
And they're all clashing. I'm like, I just.
You mean you don't remember Jar Jar
Those
Binks?
little
I remember Jar
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 Binks ear
How could
things.
you not remember that?
permanently etched in my mind.
But it's like the Hobbit and all those stupid extended battle scenes. I'm like, yes, we're
You
coming.
know what's
and we're
going to happen. You know what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
I like
George
the battle
Lucas
scenes.
loves those.
Well,
I like them.
Whatever, I don't.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's good that we all have our own opinions.
I'm more in the middle.
Now tell
I'm
us,
okay with it.
Laura, okay, so today we're going to just focus on the original trilogy. That's what we're focusing.
Yes.
That's what we wanted to talk about, and it's our show. So we can do it.
And I'm on it.
And it's actually interesting. I think that I found out you were a Star Wars geek. I did a painting one Christmas that I was selling.
I bought it.
I was going to bring it.
That
I
was
should have brought it.
It was
awesome.
like a
I should've
nativity
brought it.
for Christmas, but it was Luke.
was
No,
Han
it was
Solo.
Han
And Leia.
and Leia,
And
there
the
were
two sons.
2 sons of Tatooine
And baby
behind them.
Jesus and this.
So I'm not sure if
Oh,
it's
it's
sacrilegious or
just-
not, but
Ask me
it
if I care because I love
Oh,
it.
it's awesome. But she has the 2 little buns and
It's
Yeah.
perfection.
So it was pretty fun. And so I had made
Oh.
these and I was selling them or something, and she found out about it and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And she
I
got so
need
excited,
one.
and I was like, "Oh, are you a Star Wars fan?"
Yeah, it's
Yes.
pretty. It's
so
pretty
that was
amazing.
like
I
our
will.
first geeky encounter. So tell
Yes.
me about your first Star Wars experience and growing up and
Oh, my
all
first
the
Star Wars
whole-
experience.
or just anything, your young youthy experience.
It
with
sounds
Star
like this,
Oh,
like the Star start off to like a dirty conversation. So tell me about your first experience.
Well, do you really want to know?
Oh,
I
yes.
do.
All the details.
You know, all I remember was seeing the first Star Wars movie in the theater and being freaked out of the first scene when Darth Vader comes in, walks in after shooting everybody and
Down
Yes.
the hallway.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
shuttle. That's all I remember, and it just freaked me out. But Empire Strikes Back came, and I fell in love with Han Solo.
How could you not? I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry.
That's okay.
that's
Today is
what
about her
happened.
first experience, everyone.
That was it.
Okay, so
So
which
there you
one's
go.
your favorite film?
Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
Because
good.
Han Solo
Yes,
comes
thank
to
you.
life.
Okay, because can I just say, okay, here's my beef. Because I don't like Empire Strikes Back. We differ majorly, and like half a
In a lot of things,
freaking
but-
Facebook disagrees with me. But you know, in Empire Strikes Back, it's the famous "I love you, I know" and all that. And right before he gets dunked in the carbonite,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
but
It's so sad.
like you ruined a beautiful
I
moment.
know,
and then
when I
like
was
Chewie
watching
is like
it-
wailing and gnashing of teeth, and I'm just like, God.
Yeah, see, I figured it out when I watched it this time. I was like, knowing Christine as I do, I was like, I understand why she does not have a pretty bow. It's left wide open, and it didn't. Everything didn't end up
And for 3 years, we
Yes.
had to wait
3 years to find out.
years.
He's in Casey Carbonate still. But then
For 3
Princess
years.
Leia frees him, and I'm like,
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
wonderful.
See, that was
Okay, so
wonderful.
your favorite
is
is
Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
by a long
So
shot.
tell us your youth experience with Star Wars.
Okay, here's the thing. It was kind of like, because I hadn't watched it in a long time. And the only things I could remember were like the Ewoks and like little snippets here and there.
Yeah.
But then, like when we started the first, I'm like, gosh, I don't remember this. I thought I watched it all the time as a kid. We put it on, and the memories just came flooding
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Like in the first one, why this sticks out of my head, I don't know. But you know the scene in the garbage pit?
Oh,
Yes.
And they're being squished,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they say the
Turn on the garbage bastards on the Marvel!
yeah, and
Yes,
then
very good.
and then when Luke gets pulled under by the whatever that monster thing was,
Yes, yeah,
because
that was-
like seriously, they came on. I'm like, Justin, I looked at my husband. I'm like, Justin, this is the one with the garbage scene. Of all the things
Yeah.
to remember, the garbage scene, but whatever.
My husband was the same way. He couldn't remember anything of Star Wars, and that's what he remembered. He
Yeah,
was,
the
"Oh,
garbage
yeah,
pit, so
that."
weird. But then, like the Ewoks were my big thing. I mean, I had an Ewok stuffed animal that I cuddled. I mean, he was gross by the time I was done with him, but I loved him.
Was
so.
it Wicket?
Of course.
We love Wicket.
Yeah, we do too. So it was a big old Wicket doll, but it was funny watching it, how much of it came back. And then when we started watching Empire Strikes Back, I'm like I was anxious. I'm like, I can't watch this movie. I can't watch this movie. I can't watch this movie. But Han Solo and Leia, like as a kid, I didn't appreciate their interactions, but that's funny. Like
Yeah,
that's
very
the
good.
only redeeming factor of that movie
Very
for me.
good.
The rest of it can go.
Yeah, for me, I remember running around in my R2 underoos a lot. And
Now
here's an
we
interesting
know.
fact that's going to be too much information, but I'm telling you anyway, is that I had the actual panty part of that until I was a senior in high school and wore them as a senior.
Well, that's actually pretty
Little
good.
petite thing.
I was very tiny, and then I had 4 children.
And,
And went.
and it was over.
Anyway, so I also was thinking the other night, I had an interesting thought, which was I have 2 male cousins who were like my besties, and I would go see my grandparents and we would play together. And there were 2 things we played, either Star Wars or Dukes of Hazzard. And I was like, and I think that was the birth of Firefly.
It is.
I was like, look at that.
That is so.
Look at what just happened there.
That's what happened. It was
It was
all you. It was
amazing.
your idea originally.
Wow. It
Joss
was.
Whedon stole it from you.
Yeah, so I was
You
like,
should sue.
I was like, that was pretty cool that I was playing, essentially.
You were playing
Very
Firefly.
cool.
Yeah,
So
so
very cool.
it
As
was
it-
pretty, yeah. I loved I've always loved Star Wars. I've been a huge fan for ages.
Yeah, I like
And
it.
when the new ones came out, I was excited because it was something Star Wars. I didn't love them. I mean, they were okay.
Yeah.
But
I saw
am
one and then I
original
just-
trilogy all the way.
And what is your theory for that? Why do you think you didn't like them as much?
Well, okay, there were some. There were things I loved about it,
Yeah.
like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Perfect. I mean, like that's
Yeah,
perfection.
perfect.
Yeah,
I
I
love
he
that.
was
too.
he was awesome.
I absolutely love that.
Right.
I like Samuel
Anakin
Jackson
was-
too
yeah.
in that. He was,
Freaking annoying to me the entire time. Just annoying as a kid.
Yeah.
As a
He
teenager.
was.
I was like,
well,
Natalie
not what they were
Portman.
supposed to do though.
annoying.
Maybe he was supposed to be. I don't know.
Maybe so.
That's how I feel.
Grating.
That's how I felt about Luke. What's
I
funny,
agree.
it came up this again, like all these memories from childhood. So when Luke becomes a Jedi, he suddenly becomes like, I'm better than thou, snarky, mean person. He's like, I feel the Force. I'm like, would you stop
Yeah, he totally
it?
changed.
Like he becomes like, I'm
does
awesome
become
because
very
I'm a
serious
Jedi.
and
And I'm like,
intense.
you're annoying. Can you not? Yeah, intense.
But
That's a good
he
word.
went from annoying to, look, Uncle Owen, this has got a bad motivator. We're now here to.
That
I am a
I'm a
Jedi.
Jedi.
Jabba the Hutt.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to save you.
Yes.
I'm here to kick you.
Okay, so let's run through the 3 movies, and then we'll talk about our favorites and why. So, first one. I think the first one is amazing, because when I was watching it, I was like, this is such a just groundbreaking, amazing thing that
It was
happened.
so different.
And, you know, even like the effects, with the miniatures, they look, how many years later, and they look amazing. And, you know, like you watch like the CGI stuff now, and it's like, that looks like
Too
CGI.
much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I'm really impressed by that. I mean, even how well it's aged for me. And you know, you get your first Darth Vader, and your introduction to most of the characters.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt moves. I forgot that he moves.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
forgot
well,
they
I thought
put
you
that
were
in
just
there.
on like a
That-
thing with
that
Princess Leia.
was
Oh,
added.
shit.
That was
Was
odd.
it added?
It was
I
added.
feel
That scene
like that was added. I'm pretty
okay, 'cause
darn
I
sure,
just-
'cause I-
I don't remember him moving.
It was originally an actor in the place of Jabba the Hutt. There was a man with a weird funky hat on, and he walked around him, and they did this whole scene, but they cut the scene.
Right.
And then later on, they put the Jabba the Hutt character, and that's why when he walks over his tail, he kind of goes.
And he's really
Looks kinda
tall
weird.
too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know that scene. I'm like I don't remember Jabba moving because he's
Yeah.
kind of fat and he just doesn't move like I would
It's like-
picture. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I really liked the first movie a lot, A New Hope. I thought that was a really brilliant film.
I liked it. Mm-hmm.
It was very good. I
And it was
realized
fast moving, which is what I appreciated because I started
Yeah,
watching
you're at
it,
the point.
and a lot of times I don't know if you guys have this with movies, but you rewatch a movie and you're like, oh, I gotta get through this one scene, and it just feels daunting that you know
Yeah.
it's coming. But I never felt that with this one.
Yeah.
I'm like it was all just kept moving and it was awesome, and like all the fighter jets were cool. Like that's I don't
Right.
mind those fight scenes because
Yeah.
they're not like
Yes.
right.
yeah.
And
So
you realize-
Yeah, well, I was thinking originally at the beginning of the movie it was a little slower until, and what's powerful for me about these first 3 movies is the relationship between Luke and Han and Leia. And then you have the droids and of course Chewie and all that. But that's the chemistry between those guys
It's pretty
is so powerful.
good.
And that's what brings like the excitement into each movie.
Yes.
Because they instantly have this stressful situation. R2-D2 came to visit us. That is so awesome.
That's my ringtone. And let me just tell you, when I was watching the movies, I kept thinking,
oh
my phone is ringing. No, not ringing.
movie.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Sorry, I forgot to silence my phone. Silence your phones before the podcast. That's right. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So
you
I
were
just
saying.
love their relationship.
Yes.
That's the chemistry, and you don't have that in the 1, 2, and 3 movies.
In the new ones,
You don't have those people.
Right.
I don't have people.
That's
I'm
what's
not
missing.
rooting for anybody.
No.
I don't care. You know, like I cared instantly. You know, for all these people, but in the new ones, I'm like, I just don't care about.
And
the people.
they instantly cared for each other. By the end of the movie, those characters were family.
totally,
Yeah.
totally.
And I love that.
It was so good. That was a good one.
Oh man.
And on to my favorite,
Ugh. No.
Empire Strikes Back, which is such a freaking good movie, and it's my
It is
absolute
good.
favorite. And I could watch that one over and over and over again. I love that one so much. I love, I mean, it's like the climactic scene of a film. I mean, like if you look at it as a trilogy being one film, it's
Yeah,
like
it
the
is.
climax. I mean, it's like really a lot
It's
happens.
the second
This
act.
is like the Dagobah system. I mean, Hoth. How awesome is that? The
Oh.
whole
Oh,
Tauntaun.
the Tauntauns.
Yes.
I hate that
Come
one.
on. Awesome.
Hoth is,
And
did you know, fun interesting fact, Hoth is, well, we mentioned this on our Geeky Vacations one if you watched it, but Hoth was filmed in Norway, and my brother's in Norway right now. Not that you care, but there you go.
yeah, I forgot he was. That's pretty cool.
Anyway,
And
sorry.
it's snowy.
Hey, it's snowy here too.
It is.
Not that we're
And
bitter
it's
at
May
all.
Happy
2nd.
May 2nd.
Yeah,
with
right?
The freaking foot of
Right.
snow.
Yeah. Interesting.
So then, like, you have the whole Dagobah system, meeting Yoda for the first time. How awesome is Yoda
Yeah,
at the
that was
beginning? He acts
very
like
cool.
a Goober at the beginning.
Oh,
he
he
acts
does.
like
He's
this
so
just
cute.
annoying
He's like, I
little
don't know
twit,
what
and
you're
then
talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the massive Jedi you've
oh,
been
by the
seeking.
way, I'm a
Here, let me lift
900-year-old
your
Jedi
little-
Knight.
Right, and he can't even really deal with R2-D2. He just hits him with a stick.
I know.
And he's like, give me that flashlight. I want that flashlight. Right. And then
Yeah.
he could have.
See, I don't like the
across
swamp.
wall.
The swamp scene, I don't even like. There is nothing about that movie that I like. And then, isn't that the one where Leia kisses Luke? Is it that
Yeah.
one? Yeah, and I'm like,
They
okay,
did.
yeah, that's.
Yeah,
but this is
I believe
before
so.
we know that they're
It was
brother.
a friend.
Spoiler
it was
alert.
A friend kiss.
Whatever.
It was
Still.
really just a kiss to make Han mad.
Well, I
is
know
all
that,
it
but
was.
still, I'm like, you guys are siblings.
But that whole scene was classic.
oh, it was great.
Yes.
It was great.
So good.
Like I said, the
Such
only
good
redeeming
dialogue.
part of that movie for me is Leia and Han
Han.
Solo's interactions because it's funny, man.
Well, and then you
It's
have that
funny.
classic like going into the asteroid field and
that was pretty
accidentally
cool.
parking in a giant worm's
Uh-huh.
mouth. It was just pretty cool.
With the
pretty
Minoc.
Yes. And then Darth Vader, like Luke discovering that
Yeah.
Darth Vader's his father, and I mean that was
That
pretty.
scene was a little difficult for me because Mark Hamill is great. He's great.
I know. Overacting much?
It was a little intense, but
I mean, I would be traumatized if I
right.
found out Darth Vader was my father.
but the leader of the
I just don't know how I'd
dark
react.
side. And
Yeah.
I'd be a little traumatized.
Yeah.
It's me.
And we got to meet Lando, who I always loved for whatever reason. I don't know. I thought he was pretty cool.
He's just nice. He's just
And
a loyal
then-
guy. I think
Yeah.
that's why.
yeah.
He's just
and,
a nice loyal man.
and then, and you kind of don't know. You're kind of like,
You're wondering.
good,
You
bad,
don't know.
You're not really sure
Until
about
the
him.
end.
That's true.
And, and then, Luke getting encased in carbonite. I
That's
love
not
that.
Luke, Han
I mean,
Solo.
Han Solo, yeah,
We
Han
all
Solo
know.
getting encased
Han.
in carbonite, which I love because I think
the
it's
worst scene.
It was horrible.
Well, I mean, it was a
was.
good scene, but it hurt my heart too much.
It's
too many of the feels
amazing
for me.
though, because it's so unexpected, and you think they're gonna keep all their little central characters nice and safe. Of course, at this point we've known the Star Wars legend for so long that it's not a surprise. But like initially you're like, what? No,
Yeah.
He has to come back.
no,
That's-
it's not right. And we meet Boba Fett, who is
Yeah.
a man of few words, but very cool.
But he can emote
Very
quite
cool.
well. I will say he can emote
Yeah,
He
do that
does.
helmet.
with the helmet.
With the helmet.
With the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was wearing. I bet you can see me emoting at the beginning of the show with my Boba Fett helmet on.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that I've always been the biggest fan of Empire Strikes Back. It's always been my favorite, and so Return of the Jedi,
That's my favorite
which is
one.
you guys'
That's a good
favorite.
Absolutely.
You
more
take
positive.
it and tell me.
Well, yeah,
Go, run with
because
it.
for me, Empire Strike Back was just so like heavy and dark and like, ugh. It didn't end well
didn't
because
end
there's no
well.
pretty bow
Yeah,
on it
that's
and all this
true.
stuff.
I
But
agree.
yeah, and Return
But I
of the
did
Jedi.
like it.
And watching Return of the Jedi again, like I don't remember what they're called, but they're on.
Speeders.
Speeders.
That's the one where they're going through the trees
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm like, how are they not hitting those? I would hit them all.
Oh, there was a
Seriously,
game.
I never-
when that movie
they're
came
never-
out, there was an arcade game
Yes,
that you could.
I
Do you
played
remember
it.
that? It was
Yeah,
awesome.
oh my
and I was
gosh.
always killed.
Because
I
it was
would
my
lose.
dream.
Yes,
My
I know.
dream
I'm
to
like, I
drive
want to do
one
this
of
in real
those.
life.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be
Love to
awesome?
drive one.
Yes.
It would be so cool to drive on those, man. And
Yeah.
I like the way they sound. Like here is another big thing is the noises that all the like flying machines made. I'm like, I love these noises.
I
Like
know.
I just want to like add it to the back of my car so when I'm driving I can pretend I'm asleep.
Well, that's what I did coming up the path. Had the movie on and the speeder scene, and I was like, phew! It's going a little fast.
Yeah.
Were you
Slow
weaving
down.
between cars? Because
I was trying not
icy.
to.
And you're like pushing buttons that don't really do anything. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you're like
Fun.
playing bumper cars trying to knock the... What are those
I
guys
came
called?
close.
They're not stormtroopers, but what are they called? The
The
guys...
Imperial Guard.
Is that what they're called? The ones with the white helmets?
I think
On the front. Are they
I think they're a
stormtroopers also?
version of a
I
stormtrooper.
wonder. I know that there's a name for them. If
They
you know what they
probably do
are,
have a
let
name.
us know.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't know what the name of those guys are, but they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
You
So-
can go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia.
Wikipedia and check
Wikipedia.
that out. Well, let us know either way. Because
Yeah.
anyway,
And
And then, of course,
so,
the
okay,
best
so
part-
Return of the Jedi.
the
Yes.
best part of Return of the Jedi is the Ewoks. I love
Yeah.
the Ewoks so much. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, like I said earlier, and I just love like I love when they all get trapped and they think C-3PO, or when they all get trapped with the Ewoks and C-3PO is like a god and they're like, yeah. I love it. And then they carry him off and they're like, what are you doing? And they're all getting like cooked in the fire and Han's like, what are you doing? And then he starts talking and they get freed and everything's wonderful. I just love that part.
Okay, so you want to know the real reason that I love Return of the Jedi?
Yes. I do.
Because
You do? I do.
Okay, well here's the reason. Raiders of the Lost Ark came out before that movie. And,
Indiana
Jones fell in love with him. And so, of course, and knowing that Han Solo had to come back and Return of the Jedi, and he came back to life, and you're like, okay.
Here's my
Harrison
Ford
Ford
helmet
crush
that
coming
Leia
out.
has that makes her voice crazy.
I
was like, I want one of those.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Maybe you can get like a voice box. Maybe there's an app for that.
Is she just a really tiny person?
She's a very
Oh, she
tiny
did. I
person.
looked it up. No, because I was curious because I saw them standing next to each other.
She has a height thing.
I have a thing. Like if I looked at actors,
looks
I
like
always want to know how
actors'
tall they
height.
are.
Oh,
That's good.
So
That's good.
if you, FYI, Han Solo is 6'1", Princess Leia is 5'1".
So what I was thinking,
I was
they
like,
must be
she
about
is short. Because
Yes,
they look. She looks
and
tiny.
dainty. You know that they have those little cute little outfits that she was wearing
Slave
in front
Leia.
of
The little,
Yes.
Slave Leia
On Amazon.
bikini.
My word, she may as well be.
They have them on Amazon, but let me tell you, they don't look right on everybody.
Oh,
No, they only look right
for
on
the
Princess
record.
Leia or
Okay,
Victoria.
I'll
Wear
Secret.
them.
I won't
You
get
should
one.
not wear. I'm not getting one.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh,
fun
well.
fact about
You
me and
can
my
feel
family.
free.
Okay.
I'm not going to.
So we built a Sarlacc pit in our backyard. I don't know why our parents let us do this, but we sat there and dug a huge hole in the
Your parents
backyard,
are awesome.
and we called it the Sarlacc pit. And
Did
we would
you have like the little worms?
we didn't have the little worms, but that would have been cool. But it was deep, and we would like sit in it and play. Like we lost so many like GI Joes and
To the
to the
Sarlacc
Sarlacc
pit.
pit. Yeah, and we'd fill it with mud, and it was there
That
for years, and we
awesome.
all called it the Sarlacc pit.
That's pretty brilliant.
That
I
is
like
I
it.
know. My parents, I don't know why they ever let us do that. Because if my kids sat there and dug a hole in my backyard, I'd be like, what are you doing? Stop digging a hole in my backyard.
Yeah.
But it was huge.
Oh,
And it was there for so long.
They were like, those kids out there are entertained.
right.
Maybe
Let
that's
them
what they
dig.
said.
Did you have the toy barge? Did you have the
No,
barge?
but that would have been amazing if
Throw
we did.
them
We
off
had
into
everything
the
right. So,
Oh, I'm sure you had them tumble
well, we
down,
had
though.
we
How
had an
awesome.
AT-AT that of course that I played My Little Ponies in, and we had like a Millennium Falcon, and we had everything. Like seriously, we'd throw the dudes
Jealous.
into the. We lived a Star Wars fantasy.
Yeah, you did. It's
Lord
amazing.
Almighty.
It's amazing.
I created my own Star Wars movie in my pool. So I had
So it was like Waterworld.
It was
meets-
Waterworld.
meets Star
so
Wars.
the Rancor monster.
Yes.
Okay. So he was a water version.
Oh.
And he came out of the light in the pool.
Oh.
And Luke Skywalker and I had to fight him off. But I was like Princess Leia, but like a cool Jedi Knight Princess Leia.
Of course.
Who had to teach him how to do
Oh,
stuff.
because
of
he
course,
was in
because-
that. Yes,
yeah,
of course.
Right. So, but then I also connected with Han Solo.
Like Han Solo
After
was
I
my
killed her,
boyfriend.
the swimming Rancor monster. That's what I did.
How'd you kill him? Was it the big gate that came
I did
down on him?
flips in the water from one side to the other, and I would kill him on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like my
Hitting him?
lightsaber.
Yeah.
Oh, your lightsaber. Did y'all
Yeah.
have the lightsabers? You know when you go like this, whew, and then it goes and it opens like
I
that. Did
never
y'all
had
ever have
I'm
those?
pretty
They were
sure they
plastic.
didn't make
and-
those when I was a kid.
I wanted one.
Oh, I had one of
I'm
those.
gonna
They
say
were,
that I don't know if we had plastic when I was a kid.
They were plastic ones. We broke them all the time.
I'm
'cause
older
we
than you,
stored-
honey.
Yeah,
some
I did
nice
have the metal
lightsabers.
lunchbox though.
We had the metal lunchboxes. Yes, we had that
I
too.
wish I still had them. I did have the sheets,
I didn't even have
which was awesome.
I didn't have
Yeah,
the
it
sheets.
was
I think
pretty
my
great.
brothers did. I
Okay,
had
so here's a
rainbow bright
question:
sheets.
has anybody seen the Star Wars Holiday Special?
No, somebody
I
actually,
want
a friend
to?
of mine posted that on.
Well, I just
Geeky
had a
Faucets.
friend, one of my geeky friends came up to me the other day, recently we were chatting about Star Wars, and he said, if you want to continue liking Star Wars, I do not recommend watching it.
Okay.
Apparently it came out at
Oh.
the same time as Star Wars, and it was their attempt to kind of, so it's from like the 70s
yes.
or early 80s, I guess.
And then the Ewok too, the Ewok
The
Adventures.
Ewok Adventure,
I
now-
never saw those.
I
didn't
did.
either.
I did when it came out on TV. I saw it, and that's what I used to play in my backyard was Ewok Adventure because there was this little girl that was a princess in it, and they were traveling.
I've
and
never seen
there was this
those.
evil witch that turned into a bird, and it was I rented it sort of recently to let my kids watch it when they were a little too young to watch it. For the record,
no.
it's a little bit scary, and
All of
We
it
always
is.
forget that. Like,
and
it's so scary.
my kids were pretty small, and I was like, I love this movie when I was a kid. And they started watching, and they were like,
When you were a kid, when you were like 10.
Word to the
yeah,
wise.
exactly. So yeah. Anyway, I think it's really a horrible film. I really do.
Okay.
But I think it's probably something you should watch at some point just to have seen it. And to be honest, like when I was watching it, like you had told me that Ewoks are your favorite, and I was thinking, as a kid watching these films, of course the Ewoks would be your favorite, I would think.
Right. Because they're cute and
But as an
cuddly.
adult watching it, I'm kind of like, okay. I mean, I don't love
I've wondered that.
the Ewoks.
Did they have the
They're kind
same
of-
Jar Jar Binks effect
right.
to adults back then?
Because now as I watch them, I'm like, you're cute, but
I definitely- I will
and
say-
I'm glad you helped them. That's great.
They really did. They fought
saved the
hard.
day.
They did.
I will say I do, watching it again, I still like the Ewoks, but I do like Han Solo and Princess Leia much better now that I can appreciate
What's happening,
what's
right.
happening in their interaction stuff. Because when I was a kid, I don't even know. I'm like, ew, they touched. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I loved
germs, cooties.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
didn't, I don't know.
One thing that's kind of, I think it started the trilogy off right, but also startling and a little depressing is Obi-Wan's death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I, fell in love with him instantly and was like, I love this man. He is so great. He does the whole, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along, that whole thing. And
Yes.
and he's just amazing and gentle and just so
He's
great.
wise.
And
Yeah.
yes, and so that was a little bit shocking, I think, when that happened. You're like, this.
But
And
he
I
was
love
more
it.
powerful.
But I
as a
love
result.
how they
Yes.
kept him though. That
Oh,
he,
I know.
he
They
was
did.
talking
He's
to
the
Luke,
voice.
and
He did.
I thought that was really cool. And
I
then
did
at the
too.
very, very end of Return of the Jedi, when all three of them, like how
Yes.
Darth Vader dies, and then he shows up with Yoda,
Yeah,
and
it's
and then
Anakin.
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 I just
Yes.
really, really like.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot, and I
Yeah,
like
it
how
was
they
so
ended
nice.
it in a party. I'm like, hey, it's a party.
Although they changed the music from the original music.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that made me sad because I
Yes.
really liked that Ewok song.
George Lucas, for the record, we really liked the original films.
really did.
Yeah.
They did well, in case you didn't notice. And I really think that you should just leave them alone. In fact, I don't know, have they released, because to my knowledge, they have not released the original trilogy, as it was in theaters. Have they
I
ever?
don't think.
Like,
Maybe
unless
on
on
the
VHS.
VCR. Yeah, the VCR tapes.
Not on DVD, though,
That's
ever,
kind
have
of a
they?
bummer. They should do that. Y'all should do that.
Yes.
Oh, I wish they would, because I
I
don't
like
want,
that
I
Ewok
mean, I
song.
can do without any CGI. I just want the original, what I saw in the theaters.
Yeah, because
don't
it was
care.
good.
That would be,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be so great.
Speaking of, well, not really. Well, no, whatever. So every time I'm trying to transition smoothly, but that didn't work.
That's
Work out,
okay.
it's okay.
Okay, so
Segue.
did you guys ever see Spaceballs?
Yes. In fact, I thought of
Which
that.
is
awesome.
because every time I see
May
the
the Schwartz
Jawas,
be with you.
right?
Yes.
And every time I see
I've
the
seen pieces
oh
of
my
it.
word, it's so great. Every time the Jawas are like
Hilarious.
walking in the desert, I think of the little druids. Ding ding. Ding 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 ding.
Yes.
Ding, no. Okay.
Sorry.
Very
I should
funny.
watch
You
it,
should
though.
watch it because it's well. I don't even know. It's comedy up my alley. It's really
It is.
stupid, but
It's
I
stupid
love
and
Bill Pullman's in
hilarious.
it and John Candy.
Classic
and
actor.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
His movie.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I
like
need
you
to see
said,
it. I
The
think I've
Ring.
seen
Yeah.
bits of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
It's
so-
pretty
very
great.
funny.
right on.
Yeah, and Princess.
Yeah.
What's her name? Princess Vespa.
Yeah.
She's in you know how Princess Leia gets in the jail. What is it? The cell or whatever, and
Yeah.
they go and rescue her. Well, she's in a cell too, and she's singing "Nobody knows the trouble that's." It's great.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for Princess Leia to start singing. I'm like, no, Christine, wrong movie.
Different movie.
Christine just sang
different
twice on
mindset.
this episode. I want you to take note.
I'm a terrible singer. I'm really sorry if I
She
broke
says
your.
that all the
That's really
time.
good.
I think that was great. You were on pitch all the
apologize
time.
for.
Yes, we're musicians.
If I
so
broke
we
your
can say.
speaker, I'm sorry.
It was good.
But anyway, yeah. So if y'all haven't seen Spaceballs, you really should because
You'll get
it's really, really.
You'll get it.
Yeah, it's really. I loved it.
Yes, and apparently there's a documentary about Star Wars fans as well. Which, if I was really on top of it, I would know what it's called. But I don't! So you guys probably do. So let us know what it's called.
There was one.
Yeah, I heard. I
About
watched.
us?
Yes, well,
I'm
not
not
us
in it.
What?
personally, but
Like,
you know, us
I
collectively.
didn't get
Yeah.
the memo about that one.
Golly.
Yeah, I know they forgot to interview us, which is dumb. But yeah, and there's also a documentary about Star Trek fans, which is called Trekkies. I
I've
don't
heard
know
that
if
one.
makes sense. Yeah,
Of course.
but somebody was telling me the other day, unless they were just lying to me, probably. But they were
We'll
telling me the
Google
other
it
day that
after.
there's a Star Wars documentary as well. And also, I don't have a good segue either. But this weekend, go to the movies because Iron Man 3 is coming out.
I'm excited for this.
I'm
one.
going tomorrow to see it. And
Are you seeing it
You
up here?
are
No, I'm seeing it down in the Springs. Yeah.
at midnight.
No,
Do they have like a
No.
10 o'clock showing or
they
something?
do
like
have a
that?
10 o'clock,
they have
but
a 10
that's
o'clock?
I
tonight.
want to go.
That's
Oh,
tonight.
they
So
have
the
it
Friday
tonight.
is like we're
Tonight.
probably gonna go like in the early after like 11 or.
I want to go
noon-ish.
see
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's
That's
gonna be a
a
good
good day.
Good one.
Love Iron Man.
Yeah, I'll see
Yes.
that one.
Yes. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us this week, and thank you so much, Laura, for being
Thank
here.
you. I'm
It
honored
was-
to be here. Thank
It was
you all.
so fun to have you, and thank you for bringing your amazing helmets.
Yes, this was great.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.